So I'll be playing my song that Tabani stole from me. The name of the song is Shamoare.
Oh. Let me give you a hint.
Good day, everyone, it's your boy Erons David. And can you relax? And chat with Erons today. We have a living legend here in New Zealand, all the way from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Nobody but the great Tabani.
Thank you for having me. What's up, everybody?
So,
oh my gosh.
Can you tell us about yourself?
So, yeah, like you said, I'm from Zimbabwe. Yeah. I'm a saxophonist. I'm a music educator. I'm a music composer.
Okay.
Arranger. I suppose I take every opportunity to learn from music and give back to the people who I'm involved with, but also just kind of learn as much as I can from them. I am the son of Melbourne and Farai.
Okay.
Grandson of Bertha and Jonathan. Son of Gapara. Matibori is Yanganga. My family are from Zimbabwe. Okay. We are from a part of Zimbabwe called Chipinge. And I am the child of two very open-minded parents, because you can imagine a child telling their parents they want to become a musician.
In Africa.
Growing up in Africa, it's challenging. And I think it's harder because there's so few, at the time when I was trying to decide I wanted to be a musician, there's not many examples of people who've made a career of it. Or even, how do you make a career of this thing? Music, you know, it's like, okay, cool, you want to be a musician. And the only example we have are the really successful guys in Zimbabwe, guys like Oliver Mtukudzi or Thomas Mapfumo. And they, for my generation, those were the guys, you know, those were the parents who had succeeded. And then you had lots of other artists underneath who had moderate success.
Yeah.
I'm just that ambitious kid who's just like, yeah, man,
I can do it.
I'm gonna try. Yeah. And I'm a try hard. I keep trying.
Sure.
I guess that's who I am.
Yeah.
Thabani Gapara, saxophonist, try guy.
Try guy. How long have you been doing music?
I've been playing music. Okay, there's two answers. The first is I've been playing music. I've been trying to play music since my first year of high school. I got into high school and I saw some guys like playing in the marching band. I also saw a school jazz band, and I was like, man, I want some of that.
The try guy.
Try guy, man. Try guy. Like, I went to a school that had a lot of opportunity to explore.
Sure. And
shout out Prince Edward School in Harare, Zimbabwe. Still the business, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, we had a really supportive network of old boys who used to give back to the school, but also staff who were very passionate about that. Anyway, so since I was about 13.
13 years.
But professionally, I only started playing the saxophone when I was 17. And a friend of mine who inspired me to want to play the saxophone, he was a bass guitarist, still is playing the bass and the guitar and making his own music, guy called Josh Meck.
Watch out for Josh Meck.
Check Josh Meck out. He's killing, man. Like, incredible musician. But that was kind of one of the first musicians to really inspire me to be like, man, I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
So playing professionally since I was 18, and I sounded terrible. But I was blessed to be around senior musicians or older brothers and sisters who were encouraging
you, yeah.
And also sometimes just telling me, man, you sound... Can I curse on this show?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you sound like shit. I remember Duduma Nenga, who was the band leader for the first band I ever played in. Duduma Nenga in the Color Blue. And we did the first week of rehearsals, and it was like, can we have a meeting, guys? And she's like, hey, you guys said you found a saxophonist. And yeah, I don't know if it's because you don't know how to play or you don't want to play. But man, it's not coming together, you know. But it was nice to have some hard truths at the beginning of the journey. So I guess I've been playing music. We're trying to play music since I was about 13, but like.
That's how many years in total now? More than 20?
Oh, well, let's say I've been playing the saxophone since I was 17. 17, it would be 22 years? Something like that, yeah, 22 years.
Last 20 plus years you've been playing saxophone.
Yeah, and it's only been the last 7 where I'm like, yeah, it's getting better.
Sure. Why sax? Tell us your relationship with sax.
Saxophone, when you're 17, the chance to play with your friends is the reason you take music. Well, for me, it was, like I mentioned, I met this guy, Josh, but there was other guys in the school. Friend of mine, Brian Mambo, who's still playing professionally in South Africa, beautiful drummer. Guys like Rumbidzo Tofa, who was playing keys, and the Chikosi brothers, and yeah, there was just a lot of like really gifted young musicians at the school, yeah. And it was like, wait, I wanna play with these guys. I wanna hang out with these guys. You know, like I wanted to be cool, and as far as I'm concerned, these were the cool guys.
Cool guys, yeah.
Yeah, like the Chitsinde brothers also were like, wow, there was some really just gifted musicians at my school. Anyway, fast forward, one of the boys at the school, a very talented musician, a guy called Tinashe Mukarati, had a lot of things going on. You know, he was playing in the orchestra, playing in the marimba band. He just had and you're young and you've got so many things going on, and the other kids are like, oh man, he's never at rehearsal, you know. and I was like, oh, maybe that's my chance, you know.
Whoa.
I can at least fish it. Beautiful sax player. Yeah, and so I was like, okay, cool. That's my chance. So I started learning to play the saxophone, and I did an audition, and I tried to play 2 songs. and I fumbled the whole time. It was terrible. And they all the boys, because the audition was you play for the other musicians in the band, and then they tell you, oh, okay, yeah, you've got it. And I played, and the boys laughed, and then they were like, oh yeah, no man, it's okay, okay, you're in. Nice. So that's how I started playing. That's why I started playing the saxophone. I wanted to play with my friends or the guys that I admired, and
not knowing it was going to be your life forever.
I didn't know it was going to be the thing I did for the rest of, well, I suppose my life.
Do you regret it?
I don't.
It's good to have good friends.
Yeah, I tell you, I think the biggest inspiration, even today in my life, comes from my friends. I know we like to talk about, you know, in social media, there's talk about, let's network. You've got to network. This is how you connect to the guys who are above, you know, the level above. But I saw an interview that Issa Rae did, where she was talking about, for her, the biggest influence has come from the people who are on the same level as her, who are trying to come up you know, at the same, because then you're kind of fueling each other with ideas and like building each other up. And for me, it's always been that way. It's my friends who I do stuff with on the same level as me, who have the same hunger as me. That's been true. That's been the thing that's been like always, good friends, man. So
I'm sure this question is coming from your Zimbabwe people.
Right.
So they're asking you, what is Afro-Kiwi?
Afro-Kiwi. I think that's a curious question, because I think among a lot of the African people in New Zealand, we're kind of taking taking ownership of the fact that, okay, we're here and we are
Africans,
True. But yeah, we got that passport too, so we've been living here long enough for now, you know. We're Kiwi as well, and I think Afro-Kiwi is an acknowledgement of our African heritage. I mean, I was an adult when I left
Africa. Yeah.
When I left Africa, when I left Zimbabwe, I had just turned that was the year I turned 21 to live in South Africa. And I left South Africa when I was 27. So
Your life was African, yeah.
My life is Africa, and New Zealand is the newest thing as far as my living in my adult life. But it's become a really strong part of where I am, who I am, because the people of this land have allowed me to be here.
True.
And to be a participant.
Part of them, yeah.
And I mean, as a New Zealand-based, Aotearoa-based musician, I've been super blessed, man. I've been able to play with some of the finest artists in this country who do music and art at the highest level, you know, and not just from an art perspective, but also cultural perspective. You know, a lot of musicians in the Pacifica and Maori communities. I've just been blessed to be welcomed.
I'm a big fan of Ria Hall, actually.
Yeah, man, and she's generous soul, you know, like really welcoming, really thoughtful.
True.
You know, and I mean, it speaks in her art, you know, but also you just kind of in her interaction with her, you really get that. And guys like Rob Ruha, the most gentle soul, the most thoughtful, you know, person, incredibly creative artist. Guys like Troy Kingy, coolest guy, man. Like easy going, you know, but like so driven, you know. And the list is just kind of like the guys from the Catch a Fire band who have been able to kind of experience my first overseas touring with, you know, guys from 3 Houses Down, which is this for those of you who don't know New Zealand music. 3 Houses Down and Catch a Fire are reggae bands that have done really well for themselves. And the other musicians I mentioned are Maori musicians. I mean, Ria Hall, Troy Kingy, and Rob Ruha. But then there's, you know, guys like Stan Walker. And, you know, Vince Harder. I'm telling you, man, I feel blessed.
True.
So for me, to be Afro-Kiwi is to be of African descent, an African man, but to be welcomed in New Zealand and feel at home.
Sure.
That is, I'm bringing that Afro flavor to Aotearoa.
Yeah. Now let's go into the main deal. What's music to you?
What is music to me? Music is freedom. Music is joy. Music is connection. And for me personally, the biggest place that music connects for me is joy.
Joy, true.
Joy, fun, vibrant, excitement, movement. Those are the things that really like speak to me with music. Groove and how it can be infectious, you know, that somebody can play something, just go something, and like already you can like
you can feel it.
Oh man, I love that. I love how it makes you move. Rhythm infects your everything, and that it is memory as well. You know, music is memory. You remember a feeling when you hear a piece of music.
Sure.
And almost to the point where, for me, when somebody says, oh man, you gotta check this record out, I wait until I'm ready to listen to the music.
True.
Rather than like experiencing it. I mean, there's also something special about experiencing music when somebody who you respect or admire says to you, hey man, this thing is gonna be cool. You need to listen to this. And you're like, oh, this person knows their stuff. I'm gonna listen to it, you know? So yeah, I enjoy the memory that's attached to music as well.
On a scale of 1 to 10, rank your own performance.
My performance, it's hard to rank my performance because I'm a fan of so many other live performers.
Yeah.
Every time that I go on stage, the plan is to give 10.
10.
I can tell you the heart behind the giving, but I don't think it's fair to give a ranking because I don't get to go and watch my show.
So, sure.
But I can tell you what my plan is every time. And my plan every time is to step up and give everything. And all the fire and all the everything.
Sure. Why do you introduce your band over and over again?
Now, it's really easy to forget that although I've maybe written some songs or put together arrangements, I'm not the only guy standing there putting this music together.
True.
Every single guy in that thing has put time
True.
to make sure we don't fuck up on stage.
It's on stage.
It's the least I could do to say to people, you know what? This guy here on the bass guitar, he's amazing. His name's Nick. This guy on keyboard, he's incredible. His name is Stallone. That guy on percussion, his name is Dean. That guy... I want people to understand that these guys that are sharing this music, because it's not Tabani just sharing the music, it's everyone on stage. That these guys are valuable to this thing that we're doing, and that each one of them also has something special that they're doing.
True.
Tonight we're watching Tabani and the guys, but next time we could go and watch Nick and the guys.
The guys, true.
Next time we could go watch Elijah playing with the guys. Next time we could go watch Stallone and playing with the guys. Every one of these guys has a voice. And part of my job as a band leader is to make sure everybody remembers that what these guys bring to the show, to the moment that we're experiencing, is powerful.
Powerful, true.
Yeah.
When you hear African Mood radio charts, what comes to your head?
Tell you what, it's a really special thing. So we sent out, and by we I mean Mokuka, who's been helping me with a lot of the back side of...
Shout out Makuka, greatest manager.
Yeah, she's creative puele, and she is...
Nonso's manager. She is
managing and helping out with Tuseka. She's also working with Serebi, and the list is actually starting to grow.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well.
She is a force of nature.
True.
And I think the ones who are a quiet storm, they're the ones that really, you wanna like really pay attention to. And she is a quiet storm, man. Anyway, she's kind of been making me hip to, I think musicians, we kind of get used to like, oh yeah, man, I know how to make songs. Oh yeah, I've learned how to record songs. And then we say, almost every artist, especially when they're starting to release music, we talk about, oh yeah, I just want to put it out there, and emotionally, I just want to feel like I did it,
Sure.
I put it out into the world. And it's like, actually, no, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You need to let the world know that it exists. Conversations like this. Reaching out to people and being like, hey, we've done this thing, and create conversation so that other people can be like, because you've created this space, this conversation space where people get to discover.
Sure.
Try guys like me. Or they get to discover other people out there, and if I know to come to you, then the music gets more opportunity to be heard.
Yeah.
Anyway, digress. We sent out a bunch of press releases to a whole bunch of radio stations. And depending on the timing, obviously, some stations are able to play the music or not. And RDU in Christchurch, they started playing the song, man.
Nice.
And then somehow it ended up on the top 10.
Sure.
RDU is a student radio station in Christchurch. It made the top 10 on a student radio station. Man, there's a lot of hip music that's already like, like university cats are listening to a whole bunch of different music. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, a week later, it made it to number 1.
Ooh.
What the hell? That's incredible. Yeah. But the song African Mood is special to me because this album that we put together is songs by artists that I admire.
Africa.
African artists, mostly Southern African artists. And African Mood was composed by a saxophonist who's passed now. He passed away, Moses Khumalo. And I first remember that story about me playing in that band where I was told, hey, I don't know if you want to play or don't know how to play. Around that time is when I first heard that music. And I still listen to that album and I still listen to that music today. And I want everybody else to know about it. So to me, it was very, in a world where you can share the story by sharing it, put a video out, YouTube, social media, but also we can get to release this music, in honor of those musicians. That was the point. And and it got to #1.
With your achievements in life, do you feel that your song gets into #1 with your talent? Do you feel there's anything for you?
It's huge.
Ooh.
It's one thing to think that something you're doing has value to you.
Yeah.
But that other people say, oh no, this is you're doing okay, man. Yeah. You're doing all right. That's even more special. It's like, oh wow, we feel the same way as a community, I think that's powerful. And for something like that to happen, it just feels incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
What's the next album gonna be like?
Well, actually, I'm gonna release an album later this year.
Nice.
So 2 albums in 1 year.
Ooh.
And the next album is gonna be called Zenza.
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 So, the Zenza, how is it going to come about? Like, what's the mystery behind Zenza?
Well, the title Zenza refers to ancestry. So the word itself refers to ancestry, heritage, your lineage. So your people, who your people are, where you come from, what you're about. And my personal theme right now is that I want to stay rooted when I share music, stay rooted to home. And by home, I don't mean Zimbabwe only, but Africa as a whole. I think we are going through this wonderful celebration of so many musical cultures that are coming out of Africa, Obviously, you've got Afro beats being celebrated, Amapiano being celebrated. Amapiano. There's jazz musicians. Who were part of my community back when I was working and living in South Africa, who are now on international, jazz record labels.
Sure.
They are, you've got these pop music now, pop music stars from Africa, being celebrated on getting Grammys and things like that. Sure. And the music I make is very connected to story and telling people stories about who my people are, my friends are. That's where I kind of, especially because my music doesn't often have lyrics in it.
Yeah.
So I like for people to feel that there is a connection to my story, to some kind of story.
Will there be lyrics in this album?
Not this album, but next year is another year, and
we'll try.
Oh no, we're gonna do the trying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the album that's coming up is Zenza, and we're gonna be putting together some music videos. Actually, I'm doing a photo shoot for the artwork next week, nice. So gonna get that together. It'll possibly, I hope, to release it by September.
Ooh.
So we'll have another chat.
Yeah.
And
watch out for part 2, bro.
Yeah, man. And the goal is to have a tour that we do at the end of the year to celebrate and get more people to come out to the shows, just establish a relationship with everybody here and maybe in Australia. I don't know, man. I don't know. We could be doing this, Take it to Australia. I don't know. Maybe take it as far as we can. Yeah. But the goal is...
take it somewhere.
Take it somewhere, man. Try to take it somewhere. And keep sharing the music. Keep celebrating music.
True.
And celebrating connection through music. which is the point of Zenza and the music
Zenza.
that's involved in it. So keep an eye out.
Yeah, watch out. Are you nervous when you get on stage?
No.
Oof.
I got to play music professionally from an early stage, and I was never good. I wasn't the best musician in most of the bands that I got to play in. And even when I became somewhat competent,
Yeah.
I wasn't the best musician in the band. So I always felt I had work I needed to do. But I also, without realizing, I got very comfortable with just being shit. You know? And I'm no longer, I don't have a bad relationship with mistakes. I think when we are in a performance, in a live performance, I think there's got to be an acknowledgement of, this is what I can do today.
Sure.
And that everybody who's watching the performance, they don't want you to fail. So no one is looking at me and thinking, yeah, let's see. So I don't go into the performance feeling like someone is rooting against me.
Yeah.
I just go into the performance feeling like I prepared, man. The guys I'm playing with, they've prepared, you know?
Sure.
We've done everything. Let's celebrate the preparation. Let's celebrate. So I go into it as it's a celebration. I can't be scared of it. Who gets scared of going to a party, man?
I'll do.
Oh, come on. It's like, let's go out, man. Let's go out. Yeah, nobody's going, I don't know, you know. No. You just go and have a good time.
So, you taking your audience along with you every beat, every second of your performance, was it something you learned from someone or it's just you?
It's my heroes. I'm a huge fan of the way Baba Huma Sekela, Bra Huma Sekela performed to his audiences. It was always with so much flair and the English words are running away from me right now, but just, oh man, it's swag, man.
Yeah.
Swag. And those performances are a big inspiration to me, that you can break down the barrier between you and the audience and let people know, hey, yeah, we decided we were going to have a good time and you decided to come to have a good time. Let's have a good time, you know? Other performers who have played a role in helping me understand that. I got to play with a band, funny story, when I was maybe 20 years old, I started trying to kind of sneak onto the stage to play with this band called the Cool Crooners of Bulawayo. They, for me, were like playing coolest music, township jazz, you know, Kwela, and but they also got to play on shows with artists that I really looked up to. So it was like, yeah, I just want to play on the stage because I want to play with these guys, but also then I go and watch this other artist or this other artist or this other. So it was a big deal for me. And the way they performed, it was, there are these you know, you see bands like, or singing groups like Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Yeah. Where they've got like this swag, you know. Yeah. Those Isikatamia groups is what they're called, right? And everything is just slick. And it's tidy, man. And it's just, and you've had, it's music and a style that's existed for so long. You know. And their version was something similar to that, you know, but with a band behind them. And, oh man, swag. And these guys were in their like 60s, 70s, and they were like dancing like young men. And there was another band in Harare called the Mbare Trio. The Mbare Trio, same vibe, man. Like 3 cats, older dudes, so much swag, man. Yeah, and just like playing and being like, no, man, you guys came out for a good time. Let's have a good time, you know?
So that's what you learned. I've watched you perform. I watch other artists perform. Some artists, they have the music, they have the vibe, but you don't take your audience along with you. Right. But you, every bit of your performance, you stop and you tell us, this song is produced by like I'm going to this song was featured let's dance. And yeah, it's so nice. And I was reading your review and someone said Thabani Gapara, known for his stylish dressing. You're missing something. What do you think you're missing today?
I didn't do the hat today. We just figured, we've got lights in the room. You can see my face.
He knows his way of dressing. So they're like, he's always on the hat and the jacket. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like with the dress code thing, because I've played with so many different artists, I figured, you know what? I mean, in New Zealand, it's a little bit easier, It's like that black guy who plays the saxophone.
yeah.
But I think there was part of it was I just wanted to like have something that's like
unique,
Sure. And no longer afraid of color,
True.
It's nice. It's nice to feel like things are matching, A little bit of a sock action, Yeah, I like it. And to be honest, I was influenced by. There's a singer here in Auckland, Tane. Tane is beautiful soul singer, and his swag is very similar to this vibe. And I was like, I love you, brother. I'm going to steal everything that you're doing because it just looks too good. Shout out to Tane. He put me on to like where to get a good hat,
Yeah.
And then since then, I'm together with a truly wonderful woman. Love you, babe. Kelly. She made this outfit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't just get corduroy outfits that look this good out of nowhere. She makes most of my outfits now. Kind of started as a hobby for her, and all of a sudden, she's just gone on and on.
I just promoted Kelly in my show, and I don't even know who Kelly is. Hey Kelly, I just promoted you on my show now, so you have to give me an outfit. Look for me, I will find you. I'm so serious. What's my size? 32? That's all right.
But back to the thing about like telling people a story kind of in the performances. When you're playing music that doesn't have lyrics, that doesn't have an easy place for people to just be like, oh, I get it, I feel like it's my responsibility to give the listeners a reason to think they understand what's going on.
What's going on?
That's the one thing. The second thing is, I think going to study music, it's real easy to kind of get trapped in trying to be showing people how good you can play your instrument.
Yeah.
And I think there are places for that. But, excuse me, I don't think that's the point of my artistry. My artistry is definitely to celebrate the joy of music. And yeah, I mean, the guys can play, but like, we're trying to have a good time. And show people that you can go and watch instrumental music.
Ooh.
And have a damn good time.
Yeah, I met my girlfriend in your concert.
Oh!
Yeah. But she broke up with me that same day.
I've got another show coming! We'll fix it!
It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's how you tell it that's funny. We'll fix it.
She actually liked me on the day, maybe because you came to me and she's like, oh, you know this celebrity, you're a good guy. Then after that day, she broke up with me. You broke up with me. I'll find it.
We'll fix it.
Next show, give me another.
We'll fix it.
What's the biggest event you have played for? Dum dum.
Okay, so as a big part of my performance work is, to this day, is still playing as a sideman for much more established performers. Because of that, there's a lot of those gigs. And I think in New Zealand, there's quite a lot of big festivals. Biggest? Like, just by numbers?
Yeah.
Let's say some of the most special, huge audience performances have been playing with artists at the Homegrown Festival in Wellington. I think there's something cool about a festival that celebrates local talent and the achievements of local artists and local people going because they want to watch
Their own talents.
local music, you know, their own heroes, and support that music, and to be there in thousands, you know. They have like 1, 2, 3, I think they have like 4 or 5 stages.
True.
And every one of those stages packed. People just having a good time. We just got to figure out the Afro stage.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. We're building up to that.
True.
But I think in New Zealand that's been a phenomenal one to play at. And then overseas in Germany we played at, I think, a festival called Sound Splash.
Sound Splash.
And it's huge.
Oh, Sound Splash.
Yeah. It's like a big reggae music festival, and it's just like.
What event do you want to play for? Festivals.
Where would I like to play?
Yeah.
A big part of my focus has been playing cities, and now thinking about festivals. There's a band from the UK. I'm procrastinating to see if I can remember their name. And it's not coming to me. They've played Glastonbury Festival.
Ooh.
And seeing a bunch of guys and ladies playing festivals where popular music usually is played is exciting.
True.
Because it kind of makes you realize, oh wait, everybody just wants to listen to music. I think musicians who make instrumental music, we get caught in thinking, oh, people, they only wanna hear a certain kind of music. When really, we have a good time when we play.
Yeah.
And people have a good time listening to it, and that's all that matters. So that's now the focus. So yeah, I would love to play Glastonbury Festival. Nice. I'd also like to play Montreux Jazz Festival. I love to play, there's a lot of European jazz festivals actually that I would love to have the opportunity to kind of go out there and play. Cape Town Jazz Festival in South Africa, Joy of Jazz in South Africa as well, in Johannesburg. Then there's a lot in the States, man.
Yeah. I was waiting for you.
The States, I've had a chance to travel around the States. It's so big. It almost is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like touring in Europe is nice because you kind of drive for a little bit and you're in another country. Drive for a little bit, you're in another country, you know. And taking a flight, you take a flight for an hour and you're in another country. Where's the States, man? You drive for 10 hours just to get to the next state. And in the next state, you can drive for 8 hours just to get to the next city, you know? So it feels scary.
Yeah.
But definitely would love to do that as well. And build a community around the music so that we can go and play these amazing spaces.
Yeah. Do you feel you'll ever retire from music?
I don't think ever, no. I think the beauty of music is there are so many paths that you can chase. It's beauty and curse. The curse is when you're starting the journey, you don't know where
it's leading you to.
Where to go. You don't know how to make a living from it. You don't know how to monetize any opportunities that may present themselves. But the longer you do it, the more you realize that actually there's so many pivot points for your journey.
True.
One time you're running a studio, maybe you're recording bands, and then all of a sudden an opportunity presents itself and you're making music for film, and then another opportunity presents itself and all of a sudden you're touring and maybe you're playing with, you know, huge orchestras, and then another, you know, like there's just so many different pathways,
parts, yeah.
and that none of those that I've just mentioned have anything to do with what I've done so far. You know, so I feel like even if God forbid, I couldn't travel, there's still so much I could do.
True.
If I couldn't play the saxophone, there's still many things I could be doing.
Yeah.
Music directing, music production, composition. This.
Right,
I
yeah.
think the beauty of music is, especially in the age that we're in of technology. I think there's so much that can be done.
So these things, what does live band mean to you?
I think the live show is an interesting thing because it really gives you a picture.
Yeah.
Like listening to the album gives you a taste.
Then watch you perform.
And then you go and watch the performance.
Gives you the food.
And then you're like, oh man. Okay. Oh, these are the guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can take the performance, either you buy some merch or you go and you stream it or you share it with your friends.
Sure.
And now you're taking the performance and you can remember those moments from the performance.
Yeah.
So the live band is the most powerful part of the music. It's the part where something new can happen because the piano player is like, wait, I'm gonna do this thing. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, let's do that. There's communication that's happening on stage. Everybody can feed
Feel it.
and give some fire to the performance, even the audience.
No.
So the live band is the heart of the music.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite sax player?
There's a list. There's a list. In no order.
Name 3.
Can I name 5? This is not a specific order, but Kirk Whalum,
Okay.
Gerald Albright,
Okay.
Babkaya Mahlangu,
Okay.
Moses Kumalo,
Okay.
David Sanborn.
So you're calling my own David.
He should start playing the saxophone.
My bread to finish. That's, like you guys actually try, but I've tried to play like trumpet and all those kind of, bro. Not me.
It takes a little time to get used to.
Yeah, I can't be used to it. God bless you. I appreciate you. I can't be used to it.
Yeah, man. Those guys. Oh man, yeah, it's a long list.
No,
Maceo
5.
Parker, Nelson Rangel.
It's okay. You're chilling. You said 5.
Man, yeah, it's such a long list. I think the big part of my personal style of playing the instrument is I listen to this one thing that this one guy does, and I say, oh man, I like that. But then there's this other thing that this person, oh, I like that, and you try and
Copy.
and then those influences, I suppose that's how influences then shape you
yeah.
and make you have your own voice.
Favorite musician?
Favorite musician?
Yeah.
If we were looking at my recap,
Yeah.
Louis Mhlanga.
Okay.
Louis Mhlanga is a guitarist from Zimbabwe who's been living and working in South Africa for many years.
What was his genre of music? Jazz?
It's instrumental music, African instrumental music.
Okay.
There's improvisation. I feel like to call it jazz is not doing it enough justice because there's mbira music in there, there's GT in there, there's all these, like traditional styles out of Zimbabwe, but then there's bakanga, there's like a little bit of funky stuff, there's a little bit of like jazzy stuff, there's, there's a little kwasa kwasa in there, it's a nice mix, melting pot, Sure. He's a giant, man. He's a giant. But then also, I have some friends who've had the chance to play with him. Man, I would love to play with Bablu Mhlanga. Anyway, and they say on top of that, he's a beautiful human being.
Right.
So for me, Louis Mhlanga. Yeah.
Except from you, do you feel anybody in New Zealand can make better sounds, like the way you do?
Doing what I'm doing?
Yeah, except from you, do you think anybody can do it?
The kind of thing that I'm doing?
Yeah. The war is about to be joined.
I think there's a lot of musicians making some really fun music.
Okay.
Instrumental music.
Can you do it the way you do it?
I don't think so, because we have such different backgrounds and such different influences. Like sometimes I find out there's a lot of people who've had that high school phase where they listen to rock bands.
Yeah.
I never had that.
Sure.
I was busy listening to Sanko Mota and what else was I listening to? Like stuff that like Jabu Kanyele and yeah, it's just like I never had that rock band experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like any other person who maybe did have that rock, it means that they're going to look at music so different.
But you don't feel, do you think anybody's close to you in music production?
I think,
Yes or no?
what does close mean? Like, as in, like,
level of
standards?
production, yeah.
Standards?
Someone told, I was there when someone came to meet you, like, your performance cleans your ear from every other song.
Wow, that's really generous.
Yeah, so do you feel anyone can get close to you in that type of music?
I think people are different personalities, and I think live performance is an expression of your personality
True.
and your musical personality. I think that because of that, it's always going to be uniquely me, because I'm the only me. I think that other musicians are the only them.
Yeah.
So they will play, I mean, they will talk to people a different way. Even this conversation that you and I are having, they might talk to you in a different way. They might feel differently, you know, the energy, because of different experiences. And so that's the long way to answer, to say that I hope that nobody's playing the same way as me. Because that would just be like, no, they've got something else that they can give because they're unique, yeah.
So, many people look up to you in music. What's your advice to them? What paths would you not want them to take?
I think the most fundamental things that I could say are valuable, whether a person is going to be an artist, whether they're going to be a session musician, whether they're going to be a studio musician, a producer, even an industry person working in public PR, working as a publicist, managing, whatever it is. I think professionalism is key, and professionalism is really just your ability to be reliable, your ability to communicate clearly, your ability to be prepared with every asset, with everything that needs to be ready for the work that you're doing. I think there's something to be said for a good attitude towards the people you're working for and the people that you're working with. I think there's something valuable to bring to the table about being a positive energy to be around. I think people in the industry that we work in, entertainment as a whole, are most excited about being around people who have positivity to give. I'm not saying that you have to be fake, but that I think it's possible to find a reason to be positive about being in collaboration with people. There's always a reason to be positive.
Do you have any mistakes to share from you?
I think I could have understood earlier how I learn. Knowing how I learn could have helped me maybe achieve certain standards, personal standards for myself more quickly. Or to understand when I'm having a learning moment. Another thing I could maybe say is a mistake, a lesson I could have understood sooner, is that I could have realized some relationships are forever. Some are for just now. Recognizing them and then being able to treat them with that respect in mind, then you don't get disappointed by people who are supposed to be in partnership with you for a short amount of time. You get to acknowledge that this is for now.
For now.
And enjoy the for now. Yeah.
So, what inspires the name of your productions? You have names like I Can't Help It, When the Days Are Dark, Chisa, In Your Footstep, 7 Days, I Want You Back. What?
So a lot of the ones that you've just mentioned are songs by other people. So for example, I Can't Help It is a composition by Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And the lyrics literally say in the chorus, I can't help it if I wanted to, wouldn't help it even if I could. But then like titles like Chisa, that's a song by Abdullah Ibrahim. And Chisa is talking about, it's like an expression to say, man, let's go,
Yeah, like you have so
but then
many.
for my own music,
like tears.
You've got the reason I call the In the Footsteps like series of albums is because it's become a series of albums now.
Yeah.
Is I'm playing music by those who have inspired me and taking a step into their shoes and being like, oh man, these shoes feel kind of nice. Playing their music and being like, okay, how can I play this music? Then my first original music album, even though some people call it an EP, is called The Griot's Path.
Yeah. And
the griot is a storyteller who keeps the tales and the memory of the people, the village, and through song. And so that was me saying, I'm taking a step into sharing story and memory through song. The songs on there, you've got songs like Family, which is an acknowledgement of my loved ones and, the moms, the dance. Then you've got Tears. And I don't think until recently, I haven't had a really good explanation for Tears, but like Tears is a story of hope. Most African countries have come from like colonialism and hardship.
Yeah.
And then there's the hope and the joy that comes from, okay, cool, we've gotten over that. We're in this new space where, okay, the world is our oyster, hopefully, for most of us. And how do we step into that? And I hope that the music kind of paints the darkness and the struggle of before. And then there's a section of the music that is a little bit more upbeat, and it's like, but there's this hope, this dichotomy of dark and light, You've got songs like On the Beach.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to see the beach for the first time. I was like 21 years old, man. So,
I get you.
On the Beach. I'm not very clever with some of these names, but there's always a story. I hope that people get the chance to come to the show so that they can hear a little bit of the story as well.
Make sure you come out for all of the shows.
Yeah.
Make sure you do. Thank you very much for coming on my show. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure having a legend. One thing we do on this show, we are here with the biggest saxophonist. We can't just leave without hearing some sounds. That'll be very, very... So can you just give us a little bit of some of your sounds?
We'll figure something out. I'm sure we can find something to play.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Please do. Thank you.
Shout out, fam. You are watching the biggest show, Chats with Erons, and I'm Thabani Gapara. You can find me on YouTube as well, Thabani Gapara. Instagram, Thabani Gapara. Facebook, if you're still using it, Thabani Gapara. TikTok, where the magic is at, you won't believe it, Thabani Gapara again. Check out the music on Spotify, on Apple Music, everywhere you listen to good music, and keep on watching.